Hey everyone, my name's Jack, and today I want to talk about the trap of concepts. Now, if you've watched any of my other videos, you probably know that I love thinking about different concepts, different philosophies. I mean, this channel's, based on that. It's based on deconstructing and analyzing different religions, different ideas and philosophies, right? But it can also be one of the biggest distractions and one of the biggest traps that there is. If you're someone that's really trying to figure things out, figure out who you are, why you're here, what your true nature is, you're doing a lot of meditation, self-inquiry, looking at different religions, different philosophies, they all present a different worldview or a different construct of what this experience of life is. And it's very easy to get caught up in that and lost in that rather than actually experiencing things without a filter. For example, if you have spent a lot of time reading about Christianity, for example, then everything that you look at or experience in life, you're going to be looking at through the lens of Christianity. You're going to be looking at other people and thinking, is this person saved or not saved? Is this person, a sinner, or are they, washed in the blood of Jesus? Another example would be, let's say you are, an atheist. Or let's say you're a nihilist, right? And you're walking around and you're thinking, nothing has any meaning. Doesn't matter what I do. There's no objective meaning to anything or objective truth or purpose. So basically I can do whatever I want, right? You can see how these different frameworks or belief systems influence every single aspect of our lives, from our behavior to our thoughts to our entire perception. It colors the perception of your life. So they're extremely important. And I think that it's necessary to actually deconstruct what we believe, or at least figure out where we are in terms of what we believe, like where we're at. Do we believe in a God? Do we believe that there's life after death? Do we not care about any of that and just want to be in the moment and just live our life and not get wrapped up in, thinking about all this stuff and making it overly complicated? It's important to just sort of figure out where we stand, I think. But for someone like me, I feel like I'm wired in a certain way where I can really, really easily obsess over this stuff. And I've done it for a long, long time. And I enjoy it. So it's hard for me not to want to constantly read books or constantly listen to podcasts, delving into these more esoteric kind of philosophies. So why is it a trap? It's a trap because it takes you out of the present moment. It takes you out of what's real. If you're thinking about, some ideology of life, you're creating a wall, or you're creating a construct between the true moment and present moment existence and yourself or your experience. It's like you're putting on a pair of sunglasses, right? And you're then viewing everything through those sunglasses. Why is it a trap? Because then we get lost in that and we don't see things clearly. I think seeing things clearly is probably one of the most important things that we can strive or aspire to achieve, for lack of a better word, right? If we can see things clearly, then we're not living from any kind of fantasy or illusion or delusion. We're interacting with the world as it is. We're interacting with reality as it is. We're not passing everything through this filter of, religion or new age spirituality or whatever it might be. We're just interacting with things as they are. And I think that is the best place to operate from, because then we don't get caught up in all the bullshit that comes along with too much thinking. Okay, so how do we actually do this though? Like, we want to see things as they are. We don't want to be caught up in over-analyzing everything or being, lost in our head in this world of ideas. So how do we actually do it? Well, most people would say, yeah, you meditate. Try and stay in that, meditative state. And like, absolutely, meditation is like, it's key. It's the key to everything. Like, trying to rest in that awareness that is deeper than just your thinking mind. But even then, it's very hard. Like, I know for myself, like, I don't walk around all day interacting with reality as it is. It's impossible. Like, at least for me, like, there's always thoughts going on. There's always judgment calls. There's always bias. There's always, like and dislike. And that's just life. That's just how it is. Maybe if you're some, renunciate and you've renounced the world and you're living in a cave or in a monastery somewhere, then you can maintain that blissful state of awareness where, there's no internal monologue or dialogue between your different parts. But for most of us, we're in the real world. We're dealing with people, we're dealing with conflict, we're dealing with all sorts of crazy stuff in this modern world. And the mind's going to do what the mind does. The ego mind's job is to keep us alive. It's to keep us safe, right? That's its main function. This sense of I is a part of our biological makeup. It's the part of us that wants to survive. It's the animal part of us. It needs to be aware of what's going on. It needs to make judgment calls. And even in some instances, it needs to stereotype, because it's like, that's how you have quick reaction times. It's like, I've seen this before, and last time I saw this, it was dangerous. So now if I see this same set of circumstances again, I know, hey, there's potentially danger here and blah, 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 It's just kind of the way it goes. Okay, so what do we do? What's my point? My point is that we need to be aware of this and just have that awareness that concepts are not the truth. A word can never convey the full truth and full meaning of reality, or a book, or an ideology. They're all fingers pointing at the moon. Don't get so caught up in the finger that you miss the moon. Or as they say in Taoism, the Tao that can be spoken is not the eternal Tao. So what does that mean? You can sort of, in this instance, replace Tao with truth. The truth that can be spoken is not the eternal truth. Language is another arising within consciousness. It's not the bedrock of everything. It's interconnected, but we can't fit the enormous complexity of life, reality, existence, perception, everything into a word or into a philosophy or anything. We can get close, we can come at it from different angles, we can have different fingers pointing at the moon, but the finger is never going to be the moon, right? So learning to rest in a sense of ontological nakedness, I think, is the goal. So what does that mean? Ontological nakedness is just a fancy way of saying being present with life and with reality on life and reality's terms without needing to explain it, without needing to figure it out, right? There's a quote from the book Dune by Frank Herbert, which, big movie and everything now, but in the book there's a saying, it's something like, life is not a problem to be solved, it is a mystery to be experienced. And I find that kind of cuts through to the heart of it. It's not about getting somewhere. It's not about solving the problem of existence. It's not about figuring things out. We're not going to be able to write a thesis or put into words what life is. All we can do is try and be present, try and live in alignment and truth with our true nature, inquire into what we truly are, not with our mind, but through our felt sense and through our innate awareness, and try and rest in that. So ultimately, words fall short. All we can do is try and be. And as my favorite teacher of all time, Ram Dass, said, be here now. No thought, no concept, just this. Just rest in the moment and just be. Which is probably, the simplest thing to say, but the hardest thing to do. But luckily, be here now is really easy to remember, at least, So that's all I've got for you for today. If you're like me and you love getting tangled up in conceptual thinking and different frameworks of reality and religion and philosophy, then please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.